doing it?
Honestly, whatever's more comfortable for you. I'm just here to help you guys out, so whatever's comfortable for you. I don't, like I said, I don't put too many limitations. I want to go to the freaking set again. Who's stupid? Uh, 1 second, please. Uh, Oh, there it is. Oh no, that wasn't it. 1 second, there it is. Cool. Uh, this is because I'm not used to it. No worries. The whole thing was Amora. The whole like you just gotta try. That's what gets you better is trying new things. Getting out of your comfort zone. Because in the long run, it's gonna make you better. And I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't look too bad. Like I can tell. Which pose was that? Let's see. Let me go to the manga code. The manga assignment silence. Yeah, you did the running one. Yeah, that's not too bad. Good effort. Cool. Well, today, guys, I said this class might end up being like a bit shorter. Because also I'm trying out this new whatchamacalled. I'm actually live streaming it now. I got this Mercy. I wish Mercy was here so he could see this. But Mercy actually told me how like I can use my like I can download this app and use it as a dash cam. So that's what I did. And yeah, so I'm gonna see how this works and stuff. But today what we're gonna be talking about is a little bit foreshortening. We're gonna be talking about foreshortening your 3D shapes. And yeah, we're probably gonna talk a little bit about squash and squish too. Because I think next week we're probably gonna be getting into anatomy. So I kind of want to just handle this last section. This is pretty much the last section. I have it on the YouTubes, but I'm on the curriculum. But yeah, we're just gonna be talking about squashing and squishing your 3D shapes, foreshortening them, regular square, you know, just really pushing the bounds of your 3D shapes. Any questions so far? As far as the subject? Yay! Yes, anatomy will be coming soon. Anatomy's fun stuff. Fun stuff. A lot to learn in anatomy. Alrighty, no questions. So, I mean, I guess there's not a lot I can say about foreshortening. I can tell you how to practice it and stuff like that. And also today there will not be a new assignment. This is mainly just for lecture purposes. Because like I said, I already burdened you guys with like 2 assignments. If you want to practice something, I can give you an exercise, but it's not entirely necessary. But I guess one way I would practice foreshortening um without like, using your 3D shapes is by recognizing it's important to recognize to be able to identify your horizon line when you're drawing anything that's being foreshortened, whether that be people, machine, animal, alien, it's very important that you know where your horizon line is because anything, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you probably know this, and I suspect a lot of you guys know this to an extent, and it just needs to be in practice, but I'm just gonna, be that guy to, it doesn't hurt to hear it multiple times. But anything above the horizon line, you're going to see the bottom of that. object, and anything below the horizon line, you're going to see the top of that object. And I'll show you an example right here. And everything, all the how do I say this? All the lines to that object converge to that center point on the horizon point. Especially right now we're just doing a 1 point. This is a typical 1 point perspective. And I'm kind of jumping everywhere with this, but 1 point perspective, for those that don't know, is which it basically means that all lines in the camera converge to 1 point on the horizon line. So that is 1 point perspective. And before I go any deeper about the 3D shapes, I guess I'll real quick talk about the other two perspectives. 2 point perspective means there is two vanishing points on the horizon line, obviously. So bam, 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 bam. Two vanishing points. And then real quick, I will demonstrate 3 point perspective. 3 point, which, as the name suggests, there is three vanishing points. So one on the x-axis, one on the y-axis, and one on the z-axis. And they all converge. But with that being said, I want to keep it simple and talk about 1 point, focus more mainly on 1 point perspective. Like I said before, all everything above the horizon line, and I should have did it in a different color marker, but I'll draw it thicker so you can see. But this is the horizon line. So everything above the horizon line, you're going to see the bottom of the object. And like I said, all the lines of that object should converge directly to that vanishing point. And this is the bottom in black. And anything below the horizon line, you're going to see the top of that object. Like that. So that all applies to the human figure as well. And this is why I stress that you guys draw your construction in 3D shapes, because you can better understand how things sit in perspective based off that. So I'm going to do a person in 1 point perspective. And it depends. We'll make this the, whatchamacallit. Yeah, we'll do a 1 point perspective. And it'll be an extreme shot. Should I do that higher? Let me draw that higher. So the horizon line will be right here, a bit high. And in 1 point perspective, as things get closer to the horizon line, the smaller they become. So I'm just going to draw a quick little figure. So we'll draw the head above the horizon line, and since it's above, we're going to see the bottom of that head, which represents like the bottom of the head kind of represents that underneath the chin area. And then from there, since we're starting to get below the horizon line, my bad, we're going to see the bottom of the figure of the next form, which is the chest area. Blam, kind of drew outside my thing right there. But same thing with the torso. Since we're below the horizon line, we're going to see the bottom of it. And so on and so forth with each form. We're going to see the bottom of each form, which is represented in black. Same with the arms. See the bottom of the feet from this pose. This is kind of fast and crude, but yeah, I hope it gets the point across. Do I have any more questions? Do I have any questions about this? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I read that wrong. Don't be dumb. Beauty. Waiting on the question. No questions? No thoughts? How do you place a character in that perspective in an environment? Uh, well, there's multiple ways to do that. And I can show you. First off, in 1 point perspective, your environment is the horizon line. And you have a background. Let's see where I can write this. A background, midground, and a foreground. So if you wanted to draw them standing in the environment, their feet definitely has to be below the horizon line for sure, or at least on top of the horizon line. So let me show how that looks like. So I just draw a quick little environment with the person. He's waving at you guys. Hey. Give him some shorts. Do like a little tree. That's one way. You can draw a character in a 1 point perspective environment. Um, what I would say is 1 point perspective is pretty let me move that. Is a pretty neutral camera angle. So when it comes for you guys drawing in manga, what I will say is most of you guys, if you don't want boring shots, you're most likely going to be drawing in 3 point to 2 point perspective most of the time. If you don't want shots being repetitive and kind of monotonous. Hmm. Okay, because I struggle with that sometimes since I draw the background first, then place the character in there, but it always seems off. But when I drew the character first, then background MC's more. Oh, okay. So you're saying your character like seems kind of more floaty-ish if like they're kind of floating if you draw the background first. Oh, okay. Yeah, honestly, it's a lot easier to place a character if you already have your wait, since I draw the background, then place the character in there, but it always seems off. Huh. Then I drew the character first, then background seems more. Honestly, I find it easier to draw the environment first and then the character. Um, but whatever works. There's no hard rule to that. I just like mapping out my environment first because then if you have once you have the environment mapped out, you kind of have your perspective mapped out so you can draw your character in the right perspective, you know. And I guess maybe for you, since you draw your character, it looks better when you draw the character first, then put the background because you can mapping out your character perspective first and then mapping the environment to your character's perspective is probably easier for you. It's probably what I'm thinking on what your mindset is. It's just like how which perspective comes first, so type of beat. But yeah, yeah. Um, what else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah. What I talked to you guys about it a little too. But since we're going to be getting into anatomy soon, I think you guys should practice this. It's not an assignment, but I think it will benefit you um for getting anatomy down and getting like gesture and stuff is you should be able to squash and squish your shapes that we've been using so they're like less rigid because I know you guys don't really like drawing. I don't even like drawing like this. Like robots in your construction. It's like so like stiff and lifeless, you know, or it can be. There's no essence to it. So, but that's why you guys got to take your 3D shapes and learn how to shape them for your purposes. Like this, the cylinder, for example. We usually use cylinders to represent our leggies, our leg meats. But like I said, that is a very stiff and rigid shape to represent the leg meats. So you guys got to learn how to taper your shapes. Like for example, when I if I'm ever drawing in 3D shapes, um, I tend to emulate the form of the anatomy in it now by squishing and um, shaping the cylinder. So sometimes I'll do something like this when I'm drawing like a leg. I'll do something like that, and then the foot, knee, more like a drumstick. It's still a cylinder, but since you're getting anatomy involved into it, you're you're more tapering the shape towards the bottom because we all know that our most people's legs don't are isn't just one straight trunk. So that's why I want you guys to be able to squish your shapes, and this applies to all shapes. For the chest, for example, I kind of do it instinctively, you know. I'll round it off because like I want it to represent my anatomy as close as possible. So I'll round the chest off, but I still have those 3D shapes in mind. Like I'm not completely, what's disregarding them. I just have in my head to squish and squash them though. So I can it's more what squishing and squashing wait, I think it looks good despite it looking like a robot. Oh, thank you, Silent. Um I've had a lot of practice with it. Actually the whole reason why I sent my sketchbooks to the group chat so I'm thinking of going through a sketchbook flip through so you guys can see all the work I've done and so that I've practiced what I preached, you know. But anyways, yeah, it's really important to, you know, squish and squash your shapes. And this doesn't even just apply to the human form, you know. There's going to be a bunch of objects, um, irregular trees, for example. You know, can you see that? Hold on, here. Or God on here. I'll do something pretty like that. There's gonna be so many objects you guys are gonna be drawing like in your manga because when it comes to manga, you're gonna be drawing everything. You're gonna be drawing tree depending on uh what your genre is too. You could be drawing, lots of objects like magical items, books, vehicles, nature, fauna, and all that types of stuff. So it's important that you know how to really manipulate your shapes because you're going to be drawing so many things and you're probably going to be drawing from a ton of reference. Because I know for I'm 90% confident most of you guys don't have a built up library, visual library. So you looking at a reference and be able to break it down and squish the shapes and manipulate them and transfer them onto your paper, it's going to help you a lot when you guys are drawing out your manga. If you're trying to get a professional aesthetic, like I'll demonstrate me drawing a horse right now. So I know this is around the shape of a horse's head, and I'm not looking at reference, mind you. Blah, blah, blah. I do like that, a little something like that. And I'll draw the base of the body. I know horses have muscles right here. Just using my shapes like a shape man. Draw a quick little horse. And I know its thighs are like this. You got yourself a horse. Give it a little mane, a little crude one. Showed you the body a bit longer, but I'm going kind of quick with this. But yeah, I'm just demonstrating how your shapes can really aid you guys right now. This is like more of a demonstration type class, demonstration type lecture since I'm live streaming, but you can get really, and this is just the base. I can go on with this and fill in detail, do whatever I need to do, refine it, but you can already tell it looks like a horse with just this basic stuff right here, and it looks pretty accurate, and that's what I'm trying to demonstrate. It's very important that you guys get your shapes down. I give it an udder. I know it's a horse. I'll give it an udder. Letter. Of course, that's a letter now. But yeah, silent. I see you. I look like a real boy, father. Yes, you're a real boy. That was so random. Fanta, I saw you. Did you have anything to say? Nope, all fair, cool. What else can I demonstrate? I think I showed this before, but a car, a vehicle, you know, bam, 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 bam. And this is all from my studies of breaking down things. We're drawing a vehicle here, very boxy, but vehicles tend to be very boxy anyways. Blam, blam, blam. And then we got the wheels. Let me keep the perspective going. Blam, blam, blam. And you got yourself a car. Dashboard, passenger seat on the inside. Got your back seats and a window. Headlights, plate. Right. So yeah, I'm just basically, like I said, just showing you guys the importance of shapes, what you can build just from basic stuff, you know. And that's a pretty believable car. We'll draw a little scene in it. A little light post right there. We'll draw on a sidewalk with a little drain, you know, and people walking. This is the sidewalk. Yeah, just quick little things. Mm, yeah. And like I said, like earlier, the tree right here, little tree trunk. Who's that? Okay. Damn. Oh, I just thought about something that'll really also help you guys with things like foreshortening, um, with your shapes and stuff. Is also what it's called, but like mapping them out. So especially with cylinders, you can do a thing where you do a little curvature. I'll demonstrate this with another cylinder instead. So usually in foreshortened objects, like in one point perspective, the the closer to the camera you get with your objects, the bigger and wider things seem to get. And how this is demonstrated is through lines on that object as well. So I'll show right here. So these lines, they're gonna get there's gonna be a the gaps are gonna get closer and closer together as you recede back in perspective. And let's how can I make this relevant to what you guys saw? Just draw a quick little lamp person. Draw another little cylinder right here. And gaps get even wider. Twist. So that's another thing you can keep in mind. On objects like trees and stuff, you can draw the curvature of the tree so you can understand it in 3D space. Same right here. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, those one optical illusion pieces where you draw like a bunch of like squiggly lines. Like that. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, yeah, like that. And then from those center lines, you have like a center line, and you kind of just draw like curving lines outwards. And then you fill them in later, and it gives off that 3D look, especially when you color it like this. It makes it like a little pop a little bit. That's pretty much the same concept when you're drawing curves on your objects. It makes everything pop. And since we are traditional artists, well, also works on digital, you know, our whole point is I'm on my phone. I can't tell if I click a button. Sorry about that. Oh, okay. No worries, Fanta. Anyways, but yeah, our whole thing is to get 3D across on a 2D medium. And how we do that is basically through size, shape, and curves in planes, or the illusion of planes. You know, and again, we get that from 3D shapes. Does anyone have any questions on how to apply? These are is one of the perspectives I've always wanted to draw from with the arm in the front. See? Okay, I'm glad that is. If you do this, you know, this little thing, if you start off with cylinders and you know, the closer the arm gets, the further you draw these curves lines, it will help you visualize that perspective better for you. Are we going to do a lesson on composition? Yeah. Like I said, there's an order to these things. I'll send a thing of the curriculum. I was supposed to do that a long time ago, but yeah, we will do composition. Um, I want to put it somewhere, honestly, because like it's a long ways out there. I want to make it so people don't have to like wait so long. But yeah, composition is planned to be gone over, like the golden ratio, the rule of thirds, all of that, you know, for your manga panels and stuff like that. Kiri, 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 Kiri. Okay, I tried the cylinder for the perspective, but I couldn't get it right with these perspectives. All I can say really, Kiri, is it's just a practice thing, you know. Um, you adjust, and it also helps too if you know anatomy. That helps as well because without the anatomy, it does kind of look robotic and kind of unnatural. So just a knowledge, the knowledge of anatomy itself will greatly improve it. But it's like I said, it's a grind. You know, perspective is a hard thing to grasp. But yeah, it's as long as you practice it, you'll get it. That's like it kind of sucks to hear, but with like art and stuff, it's a grind. You know, you got to practice. But got to relearn. Oh, did you? What do you mean relearn? Um, did you learn like a different way, or like how did you originally learn? Did you get a whiteboard? Yeah, I think I'm gonna buy a whiteboard. I'm not losing so much paper. Ah, okay, okay. Trust me, the art fundamentals will help. It will help. Trust me. I think I started off just like you, because I grew up watching a lot of Naruto, uh, Fairy Tail, all those action shonen anime. So like those all those impact frames and those double spread pages and you know those like pages that really pop out and there's like a lot going on. It's what got me hyped for drawing, you know, but I couldn't really like reimagine them from my head when I first started out. So I learned all those perspective, like those fundamentals in it. It really got me going. Yeah, W Fairy Tail is a good anime. I like that anime. I don't care what anyone says about it. It's I like it. Anime manga trained me, so when I started to draw, I did okay. Yeah, for real. Yeah, but they were so tricky to draw. Big fan of Fairy Tail. Oh my gosh, it's awesome to see some fellow Fairy Tail enjoyers. Panthers, Panthers really the best character. um, what should we call it? But yeah, you know, it's all just a bunch of practice. I'm just kind of killing time here. Does anyone come on, shoot some? I know you guys are curious. Shoot some questions at me. It doesn't have to be related to what we're talking about right now, I guess. Crickets. There it is. Nice. Ask away. Hidden Winter. Ooh, Hidden Winter. Ah, this is the first time I'm seeing. No, maybe like the second time. I'm glad you made it, Hidden Winter. I don't think maybe I'm just being dumb, but I don't see you too much. How easy would you say traditional art processes can translate to digital? Okay, so the knowledge transfers over greatly. Um, like you can get away. You can make some really good pieces after um starting on traditional first, then going to digital. But what I will say as a person that started traditional, then started doing digital, it's more it's more of a motor skill thing, getting used to drawing on a screen. Like at one point in my journey, I got super duper frustrated, and I just got like one of those paper feel, whatchamacallit, screen protectors. So like it would feel like I was drawing on paper, but it still didn't feel like paper. So I just took it off and I kind of sucked it up and got used to drawing on the screen. Also good to see you too. Nice, yeah. Have you ever made your own manga, webtoon, or at least started one? Yes, I actually have some scripts and I have a bunch of like files and stuff. It's just I'm a bit of a perfectionist. As far as the story, like I'm really confident in my art skills, but as far as my story's going, I'm trying to build a power system involving the periodic table right now. I've been on and off of it for like years, and a bunch of things. The power system's changed like multiple times, but yeah, I've storyboard. I won't say I've done a bunch of mangas, but I've done like literally hundreds of storyboards, and I will share those with you guys. Yeah, how to draw hair in different perspectives, like symmetrical hair, but in different angles, like bob hair, for example. Honestly, it's all, and I'll show you that right now. So bam, 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 bam. Start with hairline here. So a bob, I think a bob's like this. This is how I draw bobs, I start with the head shape, and I draw a big shape, you know. I start with a big shape, and then from there, I'll add my little strands and stuff. So that's how I draw a bob, and from the I'm trying to stay away from drawing too many guidelines because I'm using this in marker, so it's going to get very confusing. So this is another head shape here, here, and I'll just draw the overall shape of the hair. And then from the hairline, which I would usually have like right here, I'll draw from that hairline a little curve, and then bob. You can usually from the front. Sometimes you can see like the back of the hair in a bob hairstyle, and that's how I draw it. And then from there, you can detail it after using this big shape. You can do whatever you want. You can do frizzy, however you want it. Uh, Oh my god, I'm getting caught up on all these. Yeah, it seems like I do much better on the rough paper rather than a smooth screen. Yeah, no, because it's a bit unnatural, especially if you start on traditional. If you start at digital, I feel like you're a bit advantaged because like, that's what it's easier to go from digital. Well, it also depends on how you use digital because with digital you have all the tools like you can resize whatever you want, you can move stuff around, uh you can add a bunch of layers. So if you take advantage of a bunch of those features and then transfer to traditional, I would say it's kind of hard getting into it because you're used to all those features, but you can't take advantage of them because you're working with paper. You can't zoom in on a piece of paper. uh whatchamacallit, and yeah, you don't have like a bunch of brushes and stuff, like custom brushes and things like that. But as far as like the motor skills, if you get really good with your drawing motor skills, like using your hand, drawing lines on a glass screen and stuff like that, you will have pretty good motor skills traditionally. Although I haven't really used it, I tried playing Osu to get okay at using it on more. Is OC like a paper-like screen protector? Or are we talking about a game? Silent? In that one comment? Yes, storyboards are amazing. I'm honestly addicted making storyboards, You don't have to commit too much to them. Plan to learn those once I'm good at art to do animations. Yes, yes. It's not too hard. Storyboarding is a lot of gesture drawing. If you're really good at gesture drawing, you're gonna have a lot of fun doing storyboards because storyboards is just hella gesture drawing. Um, Also, on the subject of hair, it feels impossible to make good looking hair with a LED size that isn't 0.5 because I have to rub my pencil lead to get it to that thin. Any tip for that, or do I just need a thinner lead size? Oh, well, I don't know. It just depends on what you're drawing, I guess. I don't know, cause like I don't think the size really matters. I guess what it matters with singular strands, like right here, I have this strand right here that looks pretty thick and unnatural, you know, and that's because I'm using a marker. But you can get away with doing pretty detailed hair and um with thicker material. I think it just comes down more to practice. Let me read that again though. The less I 0.5, I have to rub my pencil wet to get it that thing. Um, yeah, I don't know. Like when I draw hair, I just and you can be lighter with your lines too. I think ribbon size, little hair strand, little tuft of hair. Yeah. It all just comes down to how heavy your hand is with that, and how fluid you are, how heavy and how fluid you are. Because I can make my mark thicker, thinner, and we were going to talk about that. That was in the curriculum. And this is like one of those thick Sharpies, you know. Oh, it just comes down to pressure. The same thing with digital, you know, you have your pressure sliders and stuff like that. Oh, this is a game, yeah. Oh, is it like a samurai game? Is it kind of like a Sekiro? Okay. It is, especially if you're not used to it. Even though I have a drawing tablet, I still prefer drawing on paper than taking a picture of it and then finish it on the tablet. Yeah, I used to do that too until I started like for drawings and I would ink them digitally until I started getting to digital painting. And then I would and then that's when I kind of just just started going full on digital. Music? Oh, this is music? Wow, I'm confused. Yeah, I'm pretty heavy-handed. I end up going over stuff with pencil to make things darker when I know I should use pens. I think I'm just lazy. Yeah, no, I get how you feel with that. I literally in all my sketchbooks, like I have some ink stain there, but I prefer just the pencil, the good old pencil. You know, I use the mechanical pencils now. But back when I first started, I used a lot of number two pencils, so I can go as dark as I want without having to lead break. So I just go over my drawings twice, erase any guidelines, and it would come out pretty good. This OC rhythm is just a click away with Quindan EBA Techo original gameplay modes as well as fully functional level editor. Oh,そうですね. I see. I see. Fresh Fanta. Uh, any more art related questions, guys? It's best to, like I said, it's best to think of hair as like one shape, one big shape, like a mullet right here, and then you just fill out the details. And when you fill out the details, it's kind of like ribbons. I don't know. I have a mess load of color pencils and mechanical pencils, but I always end up using cheap gel pens. For some reason, I can't really explain it, but it just flows better. Well, ink, it's more of like a liquid, so it just glides across the paper. I can understand that. How do you think? Oh, what's up, Mercy? What's good? How do you think of a draw really long hair as a one big shape? I typically do it strand by strand. Yeah, see, that can cause like a lot of problems when you do it strand by strand because it comes out like really unstructured and you really have no control of how your hair like looks in the last. Let me get another piece of paper. Okay, let me show you. So hair, and I'll get to you in a second, Carrie. So hair, uh, long hair. This is how I typically do it. And also, see, this is why you guys got to study anything, any subject you want to draw. You have to study it. You have to look it up. Hair can be parted in different ways. You can have a middle part. You can have like two parts. But that also plays a factor in how you draw your hair. But how I draw hair sometimes, I do long, flowy, just one straight line, or depending on where the part's coming from. And from there, I can just do if they have like little bangs or not bangs, I forgot what they're called, but do like that, big shape, and then you draw the strands and stuff from there. Very crude examples, but let's give you another one. Let's give her like Sailor Moon type esque. Blam blam. I forgot what Sailor Moon type is like. Um, Ponytails are easy because just hairline blam, hairline blam. You see, I kind of gave it like a butt shape, and then the rubber bands right here, and then blam blam, blam blam. She has wings at the side of her hair now. And then from there, blam blam. It's like a wave shape. I kind of create like a wave shape, and then from there, you kind of just do the shapes. Skis. You kind of do like ribbon patterns, and then you got it like that. Let yourself a ponytail. See, like that. Do you have any tips on creating dynamic panels for mangas? Let's see. How do I draw? I I would recommend watching a bunch of film and studying films. Because storyboarding, it's like almost like you're like filming a movie, you know. So studying a lot of film might help you on that. Knowing your horizon line, like I said, like how I was talking earlier, knowing your horizon line and how to manipulate that horizon line. Like if I want to create a scene where what scene am I thinking of right now? If I want to create a scene of a character like walking in on the scene, but we want to keep them mysterious, what I would do is, and I don't know if you can see, yep, knowing horizon line, I would tilt my horizon line a bit, so my horizon line would be a bit diagonal, and then I would have my foot on the horizon line like that. So this is my foot, my makeshift little foot. Blah, 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 blah. And I'll have my character kind of tilted, just looking at them. What the hell? Who is this guy? And that already looks pretty dynamic. You don't always have to show the full body in your panels. Let me draw a few more examples. Even honestly, just changing up the angles. You already have the answers pretty much of how to make your panels more dynamic. And what I would say that is manipulating the horizon line, um, perspective, um, making use of perspective. Camera rules, like the rules of thirds, which is pretty universal. I don't know if you can tell me in the chat if you guys have never heard of the rule of thirds, but camera angles like that, angles, rule of thirds, e.g. And I can put that here right now. I can draw a face, divide this. Hold on, how do I want to do this? Let me get another piece of paper. Oh, so much paper, so I can draw a scene if I wanted to in the rule of thirds. You know, make it dynamic. And I can draw this character in the very third, because you want all the action in one of these 4 points. You can draw a character kind of with his head, you know, blam. So he's looking up at something, and then we can draw another character right here on this point, and then speech bubble right here, bam. See, that scene already looks dynamic. You feel me? And then we can draw some background stuff. Let's draw like a clock. They're in the room for some reason. Some shelves. Books. So yeah. Uh, have you ever used a GNIB? And if so, do you have any tips on how to practice? I just got one. I can't say. I actually have some nibs. I bought some for my birthday a few months ago. I haven't used them. I've always wanted to use them, so I cannot give you any tips on how to use them or what ink to use or anything like that. But I'm assuming you have to be really good at fluctuating between pressure with your hand, so you can get nice, smooth, and uh, accurate lines. You know, with the varying line thickness. You have to get good at that, which is also why I told you guys those line exercises, good, very good. They will help you get those motor skills up. As a segue. Do you use horizon line for every dynamic angle? If I'm setting the scene, yes, but not always. You know, like I said, if the horizon line is in the screen, if it's in the scene, I'll manipulate it a bit. Like I'll turn it sideways. You know, I'll make it very extreme sometimes. Sometimes if we're doing like a worms, sometimes I'll do something like this where I'll curve the horizon line. But that's if it's in the scene, you know. If it's in the scene, that's when I'll manipulate it. If it's not, I tend not to draw the horizon. I've heard about the camera perspective. I just don't hear a lot of artists talk about. But these does clear up a few things that I was trying to do. Yeah, like I said, study a lot of films. Studying some Quentin Tarantino films. Who else? I can't think of a lot of directors right now because my brain is just mush. But yeah, study those big film directors because those will really enhance your storyboards and panel making, and which in turn improves your storytelling abilities because each panel contributes to the experience of the story. I want pie. But yeah. Anything else you guys want to know? Hey, I'm wondering like how long do you guys typically spend drawing a day as like very I'm just curious because when I was younger and I had more time, I know it's harder for you guys because and I know because we're all like most of us are adults now with school and like adult responsibilities. But back when I was like teaching myself how to draw, I was spending a good like 6 hours a day drawing. Sometimes an hour or two. That's pretty good. Sometimes multiple small drawings or one big one. Oh, that's cool. Draw for about 2 to 3 hours. I draw anywhere from 2 to 5 hours. High, it takes me about 4 hours for something simple because my perfectionist brain won't go forward. It doesn't look right. And that Hidden Winter, what I will say to you is the more bad draw. Someone told me this. I forgot who. I think it was someone on the internet. You want to get your reps in and draw, like purposely draw bad drawings. And I can literally show you guys pages of bad drawings. You purposely want to draw bad if you want to get good. It's kind of it's kind of counterintuitive, like it sounds counterintuitive, but there's a certain mindset you have to have. You have to purposely, or there has to be like a certain detachment. So you want to pump out as much as you can during your practices and then analyze them straight after. It's not just drawing and then hoping you get good. You got to be able to analyze your drawings as well after you're done drawing. I range from like pretty busy with school, but about 3 hours usually. That's pretty good. I try to draw at least 1 hour a day now. On weekends, I go up to 2 hours more if I'm entirely free. Yeah, that's great. I range from like 3 minutes to like few hours, depends on motivation, studying, etc. Yeah, it depends on how much free time I have nowadays, but around 3 hours or more if I don't procrastinate. Procrastination is a demon. It is a demon. 1 to 2 hours depends. Failing shows you what you need to work on. Exactly. Exactly. If left unbothered on a day off, at least 6 hours, but during school or work days, 30 minutes to an hour. Yeah, I feel you on that. That's how it seems like for me now these days. I hardly ever like practice anymore. I've just been brainstorming. I know that you have to draw bad, but I never want to go back to the starting phase when literally nothing looked good. Dude, I'm telling you, because I just did it today. When I looked at all my old drawings and I saw how far I came, dude, you're gonna like, oh my, like you're gonna be so like proud of yourself. Like looking at sketchbooks like 5 years down the line, you're like, damn, that you came a long way. And it's a really good feeling. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. I like to see it as like a glass half full type thing. I'm a professional procrastinator, so I usually draw around this time. You're Eastern Standard Time, right, Silent? Okay, yeah, yeah. Honestly, that's a good time to draw though at night because like no one's like that's when I have a lot of focus as well. Typically around like 9, 10 p.m. if I didn't work. You and me both. Yeah, yeah. It's a good time. I think a lot of artists for some reason are like night owls. I don't know what that is. Or if not night owls, definitely really early risers. Like I'm talking like 5 o'clock in the morning. I've been on like both ends of the spectrum depending on where I am in my life. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's like almost like zoomies. It's weird. Yeah, saying I brainstorm more than I draw, and by the time I draw, I forget most of it, which makes me sad because they be good ideas. You should write them down. You should write down your ideas too. Because I take basic art class, I did a bunch of drawings in the morning. I'll send them right now. Oh, okay, that's cool. Hey, would you guys be down for like um sketchbook flip through on another day? Yeah. Nice, because I really do want to show you guys because I like literally when I first started, I was drawing just like you guys. Like it's actually crazy. Um, when does everyone have time? Do you guys want to do it right now, or when does everyone have time during the week? We can set up a time and then we can all just like, chill and flip through, talk some more. get intimate, you know, seeing another, and you guys can share some stuff from your guys' sketchbooks if you want to in the chat and stuff. Yeah, all right, cool. Let me hold on, let me go get some my sketchbook. Ugh! Turn on my lights. 1 second. Uno, ma. Ah! Okay. Let me find my first ever one, which I think was this one, this blue one right here. Let me see if it is. Yes. So this is literally, I don't even know what, I think this was like around 20. Let me, oh, shoot, let me go back to the Discord. Okay, cool. Uh, uh, okay, cool. So this was around 20 2017. I don't know if you guys can see it, but my figures were kind of lacking back then, and I had my objectives, what I wanted to draw, what I wanted to practice and stuff, like improve my forms and stuff like that. Landscapes, finish sketchbooks in 60 days, which I did. But before I go on, let me check out your silent. Oh yeah, that's that's dope stuff. Nice. But yeah, so I'm just flipping through, showing you guys that. Let me see if I can kind of blurry. But yeah, my figures they weren't really like proportionally accurate. They're very stiff, very blocky, very anatomically incorrect. Um, I would dabble in a lot of like character designs and stuff like that. I was really into like monster making at this time. I think this was my very first sketchbook. And I guess for today, so I'll show you guys my first sketchbook and my I guess my more recent sketchbook. So you guys can see the contrast between them. But yeah, I think I remember this is like one of my drawings I did in high school. Uh, when I was doing with a friend, we were drawing for a reference. Yeah, you can see nothing too crazy. My old heads. Old hands. Yeah, did I put a date on this one? No, I didn't put a date on this one. But yeah, I would practice a lot of perspective too. But this was before I started using boxes. I'd still use, actually no, I'd use some shapes here and there, but they weren't like perfect. This is me attempting stuff in an actual perspective. But yeah, the passion that was there, but the skill wasn't. I actually went back. I think I drew this like a year later because sometimes I draw on the back of my sketchbook pages. But yeah, no, I think what happened was when Soldier, shout out to you. When I would draw stuff like this in this first sketchbook, it's because I drew from the contour and from a reference. The other drawings weren't really from reference. So that's why they came out with that. But when I drew from reference, I'll draw the contour and then the details in the middle, just like you did. And that's how I got that result. Because it can, I wasn't bad with proportion drawing from reference. But as you can see from imagination, my brain wasn't too fuzzy. GG. Oh snap! Is this from your manga you're working on right now? That's cool. He's got speared absolutely. Shish kebabbed. So did he die though? I've always wanted to be your friend. From the same sincerely. Is this like one of those those shoujo? Those shoujo Mangas. That's what this whole dialogue. That's what's speaking to me right now. Nah, I wish you guys can read this stuff. I wish my camera wasn't so blurry. Sad, but I've been mostly drawing from rough on all my sketchbook, which isn't bad. No, yeah, that isn't bad. That's good. It's actually really good you're drawing from it. That's probably why you're so advanced right now, so silent, because you draw from so much reference. You know, drawing from reference is not bad by any means. Like this, I drew from a lot of reference right here. I started getting into like I said, Alfonso Dunn, in my days, when I was self-teaching myself, on YouTube. Alfonso Dunn was a really good guy to learn from. He's still on YouTube, so I'll check him out. Keep on saying I'll send some links, but I always forget. But I'll try to remember some poses with more 2D shapes instead of 3D shapes. Eyes. See, I started using boxes. I think at one point, this is when I started taking it seriously. I started using boxes and stuff to construct things and some compositional. These are me getting into composition. I was kind of everywhere in my first sketchbook. I just wanted to do it all. So I did a bunch of, compositional pieces for environments. I just got these books to help me with anatomy. Morpheo, I heard those are really good books. Yeah, they'll teach you a lot about anatomy. I actually do want to buy that book just to have it. But yeah, I see that all the time. It's a really good book. It really gets into the nitty gritty. How much did you get it for, and where did you get it? Did you get it on Amazon? Oh yeah, and I will always like this Pluto. A good design. It kind of gets a what's that? What's that? Been truly something. The kind of vibe it gets me. Or that guy from the Black Phone. That's the vibe it kind of gives me. Sad for more 1 point perspective stuff. I don't know what this is. This is kind of terrifying. I don't even know why I did this. I think I was going for that more scribble art type thing to make a face. It looks very terrifying. More monster concepts. Trying to create an MC. I think this is me attempting to do those like little room drawings from it, but transferring it to your sketchbook of what you're looking at in your room. Come closer. Oh my gosh. Oh, the scopophobia or not agoraphobia. Those are a bunch of eyes, right? I think it's scopophobia. Scopophobia. Awesome. That's scary. Come closer. We all float down here. See that? Oh, they're so cute. Look at it's Amy, one cheesy version. I like the shark. That shark is awesome. And the licking of the tablet. I love it. That's awesome. Also, yeah, see, that is the stuff right there. You need to be studying that. Yeah, that's a good anatomy book, soldier. Yeah, study that. If you got any of you guys have an anatomy book, really take it seriously. Little birdies. Oh, my faces, they definitely evolved. I'd be drawing random stuff. Who sent this one? Ooh, I like who sent that. Was that Silent again? I really like those buildings. And it looks like it's in 2 point perspective. Yeah, I really like that. That's dope. You did really good on that. Is that a mailbox or a post? What is that? It's really good. Did you draw that from like an actual environment, or you just did that from Dome Top? Oh yeah, see, that's what we like to see, Silent. Look at those shapes. Lesson 10, the cylinder. Advanced level cylinder. Nice. You said you went to art class, right? Right, Silent? You took some art classes, right? Because I like what I'm seeing. Yeah, oh, that's right. So I like you're saying. Honestly, man, telling you guys, all this stuff works. It works. You can draw in 30 days. The fun, easy way to learn to draw in 1 month or less. Hey, PewDiePie did it. Anyone can do it. You can definitely learn how to do it. You can get pretty good at pretty decent in 30 days. Be black. That's a nice buggy. It looks like it's kind of walking though. Is it a walking buggy? Is it one of those buggies that like have like a human personality? That's awesome. I like her introspection and introspection. New York. Hey, Aki. Oh, that's like a nice little high school scene. Cool anime. Opening scene for my senior project manga. Sorry if you can't see it. No, I can see it. It looks good. What type of what type of like genre is it? Is it like romance? Is it like like what type of what type of manga is it? What type of story is it? Oh yeah, silent. No wonder why you're so advanced. I see now. I see that formal teaching. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Behold. Oof, all my squishers are currently collecting dust in the basement. Gotta bring them out soon. Yeah, bring them out. Those are some nice looking dogs. I like this dog. That dog in the first, in the left hand. All right. What did I say? I can't read that. But that podium is actually really decently drawn. I love that. The drawing I've been showing is before I took the art. Oh my god, dude. Freaking legend. See that, bro, see that testifies, that even testifies even more how important it is to do um reference drawings and actually studying drawing, studying the forms. It's great. Here's some robots for me. Robots. Ooh, man, that's amazing. That is amazing stuff. Books I have to learn. Totoro, The Art of Totoro, Nye Art, Classic Human Anatomy. Oh yeah. The fire is there. I respect that. The fire is definitely there. You definitely invested in yourself when it comes to drawing. friend drew this one. That's me. You are very amazing. Chlorine. Thank you. Where is Ooh, look at that? Whoa. Where's this fish been? Where I had I want to be a physical thriller in a school event like White Day, or Birth, Name School, not even Bones, minus the supernatural. Oh, okay. I've never seen White Day or the Urbith Name School or Bones. So they're gonna be like a bunch of monsters or like a psychopath killer. Yeah, with the animated bit, I feel like I don't know how to keep it in my memory. I've been mostly copying the illustrations. One step at a time, to be honest. Art is a grind. It takes people like a good amount. It takes people years to really get down anatomy. I haven't even fully got down anatomy. Fine. Oh no. Here's my practice for drawing arms. These are really good. These are actually really good. I see the bicep, the tricep. So what stops you from like replicating it from memory, if you don't mind me asking you? Is it just like making the placements at the right pose, Pluto? There's one I'm looking for. I really can't hang on. Can't find it. Here's one of what I did with my favorite artist. I did this in Copics. First arm was from reference, and the rest I tried my best to not look at the first drawing. Oh, okay. Do you just practice the arms like the skin on top, or do you ever look deeper into how the muscles actually sit on the bone? Here. So look at your guys. The little derpy chihuahua. There's some funny looking dogs. The meme dogs. It reminds me of all the meme dogs on TikTok. Like that raccoon is a Raz one. Cat. Look at these anatomy. Tendon of origin. Oh, this is a pelvis. Oh yeah, this is what I like to see. Is wrong. I like when people take note taking. This is a good thing. Who sent this? Is you silent? Yeah, the note taking on your on your sketches is really good because it shows that you can analyze and see what you did wrong. I know the basic anatomy from a physical fitness class in high school. Yeah, it helps. It helps like getting into like things like working out or taking like a physical class or a medical class. It really like makes learning anatomy easier. If you have those type of passions where it involves you getting physical. An old man on Pinterest. That it's not that bad. That Batman isn't bad. Not bad Batman. I like that Batman. Oh, that was a nice cat. It was me, Barry. I love that meme so much as a Flash fan. That is so great. It was me, Barry. How do you analyze better? Like I said, just looking at a ton of reference. It's more like paying attention to every rule you've learned, like proportion, really comparing and contrasting your reference image to the image you draw. You just really seeing what's different and picking it apart. What's different from your drawing from the reference? It's as simple as that. Well, I like those. I really like how you construct the figure, Moro, on that one. I really like that a lot. I actually really like these Moro. There's like a lot of like Korean and Chinese artists that kind of do construction just like you, and I really like how they do construction. Very sleek. I just really like sleek designs or sleek figures. Like MM. Silent. Oh yeah, 1 point perspective. Here we go. I like that. That's good. Oh yeah. Ayumi? Ayume? Is that a cursive Y? Or oh, Yume, not A. Yume. That's cool. Is that your like OC or your OCs? Petridi Virum? Putridis? Putridis Virum. I feel like it's Putridis. Let me look it up more. They kind of look like. Oh, this one with horns kind of looks like a succubus. I like them. Ooh, it looks like you're making like characters. Well, so these are my summer I did back during the pandemic. I post more on character portraits though. Oh yeah, they look good. Gesture. Oh yeah, gesture is great. Hey, Fresh Fanta, do you use that line of action? Do you know what that is? Do you ever use it? Oh my God, those animals. That wolf is nice. Um, I really do like this wolf. Yep, Future Verum. Nice. Cool. I didn't completely butcher it. I can't really explain it without spoiling it, but about a boy transferring to a new private school who has a reputation for giving second chance, but it has a shady history of hiding crime related accidents with the major warned of on a couple of victims by staff. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Hey, if you guys ever finish your like manga, send them to me so I can like read them. I'll read them. I'll be down to read them. I think I told Mercy that too. Oh, Mercy did. Silent Soldier. Rose attempts. Make small potato. Then make them bigger. Yeah, you a line of action before. How'd you guess? It's like typical. With gesture drawing is to like use a line of drawing so you can get that flow, so you can make it look more, energetic because you want your gesture drawings to be energetic. So it's pretty typical to use a line of action. I'm going to a life drawing class tomorrow, so I use it a ton. It's pretty cool. I recommend you guys go to some life drawing classes if you can. It's a good experience. Ooh, yes. sir. That is what I like to see more of. Trying to get into nitty-gritty of anatomy. Yeah. I think I told someone else this, but yeah, the in anatomy it's best to learn the skeleton first, then the muscles, because the muscles attach onto the skeleton. Supposed to be a zombie, but I never finished it. So I got a finished draft, but I haven't really been able to get the lineup finished. Oh, okay, that looks scary. Oh no, that's not yours, Chris. This is yours. Art and fear. Rare. Gotta finish it, but I haven't really been able to get the line art finished. You can do it. You can finish it. I believe in you. Like that one meme. Just finish it and make it good later. If that makes sense. You can always improve on it later. Make a product. That is a scary monster. This kind of reminds me of like the Spot for some reason because he has no eyes. I don't know. I really like the Spot from Into the Spider-Verse. Dumb loves family. Thinking about Kite. I don't know. Dog kick to Stardust. Luke. Not the best, most clean one. I think. Okay, okay. What's the big deal about bathrooms? Anyways. Huh. Yeah, why do bathrooms exist? We don't even need them. Let me shake your hand and collect your genius. Uh, it, I thought that hat was something else because I'm dirty-minded individual. You really like drawing cats. So this silent. Oh, silent. Yeah, silent's going in on this. Moral. Just make it exist first. You can make it. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah, I'm glad you saw that too, Moro. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, because it's true. Just make it exist first. I honestly, I'm a bit of a hypocrite. I need to follow that. I'm gonna follow up on that too. Making exist. Psychiatric help. 5 cent. The doctor. These cats kind of remind me of like Scratch from The Simpsons. I don't know why. I think that's what his name is. Scratch. Melodic and attract. A fellow Pokemon fan. Respect. Oh yeah. With that Metal Sonic. Sonic Underground was a cool show coming up. Same, it's so good too. Metal Sonic. Like I don't really remember much about it, but that was like one of the Sonic shows I watched. And then Sonic Rings, I played the game, and that's as much of my Sonic experience I got. Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna end it here because I'm gonna get some food, guys. But let's do this again. I really like this. It was cool seeing all your guys' sketchbooks and all your ideas and stuff getting shared. Yeah, no worries, always. It was actually good seeing you, Hidden Winter. I think I rarely catch you. Like I don't know why, but your name, like, I don't know. But nice seeing you. Thank you guys for sharing. Thank you for the lesson. No problem. No problem. You guys have a good night, all right? Catch you later, Pluto. Catch you later, Silent. You absolute beast.